Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, why I drink in the daytime. They wanted more emails, which they also wouldn't read. Drunk customer wants to play with electricity. Speaking of UPCs and modern technology. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Why I drink in the daytime. Gather round and I'll tell you a story. I had just finished executing my PowerShell script to enable an email account after a user had come back to work after taking an extended period of unpaid leave. I am a generous God and decided to help her quickly rather than leaving the ticket to fester in my queue. The commands completed successfully, email account is back up, user is happy. Birds are chirping and the sun is shining. Ding. A Teams message from Bossman. Hey, can you help user Marie? Outlook isn't working and neither is Teams for her. Her email is *@gmail.com. I drafted an email asking when I can take control of her PC, send it off and go back to my PowerShell. This time to try to package some .msi files so we can deploy them with SCCM. Just as I am about to edit the .html files for the nth time that some arcane packaging system uses for this, I receive her response. Can we connect in 30 minutes? This problem needs to be resolved ASAP as I can't access my email or Teams and I have a meeting tomorrow that's very important. Sure, I'll send you the instructions on how to connect to Quick Assist in 30 minutes. I then go back to my shell and notepad to package the damn thing. Same error message each time I try to build about our .exe reusing a GUID, and they all need separate GUIDs. Even though the program is supposed to auto-generate them based on absolute file path. 35 minutes pass, oops. I fire up Quick Assist, code is generated and valid for the next 10 minutes, send the connection instructions to Marie. And I wait. 3 minutes have passed. I send an email. Hey Marie, I've sent you the connection instructions. And I wait. 6 minutes have passed. And I load up Reddit. 9 minutes and 30 seconds have passed. No email from Marie. Timer still counting down. Hey Marie, the code has expired. Let me know when you want to try again. No reply. I go about my day. Finally managed to package an MSI and inform Bossman. That's great news, but we are going to be using SAT to push .x's directly to users, no need to package .msis anymore. Seeing as it's 5 p.m., I say F*kit and leave. I'll learn about this newfangled SAT tomorrow. The next morning. Fire up my email. Surprise surprise, email from Marie. At 7 p.m. Hey Alex, sorry I didn't connect with you this morning. Can we connect now? Then another at 6 a.m. Dear Alex, can we please fix this issue ASAP? I need it working before 9:30. It's 8:30 by my watch. Still plenty of time to fix her problem before her meeting, so I say what the hell and reply. Hello Marie, let me know when would be a good time to connect, and I'll send you the Quick Assist code. Then load up Reddit. 2 minutes later, she replies. Now. So I generate a code and send to her. Tick-tock, the timer counts down. While I wait, I watch the lockpicking lawyer on YouTube. Timer reaches 0. FFS. Send another email to her. Code has expired, I'm sending you a new one. Send new code. 5 minutes later, and with 5 minuter on the clock left for that code, she sends me an email, copy-pasting the instructions sent with Quick Assist. Is the Start menu the Windows icon on the bottom left corner? Oh, start your Quick Assist session, please follow these instructions. Open the Start menu and select All Apps Windows Accessories Quick Assist. Select Get Assistance and follow the instructions. If user account control appears, select Yes to continue. After the steps are completed, please wait while your device connects. Then another. It's not clear where to find all apps and Windows accessories. Then the clock reaches 0. Again. It's now 9:15. Queuing it close, but I might be able to fix her problem before her meeting. Send her another code. Timer reaches 0. My mind cannot fathom the depths of the idiocy of this user. How? How does she not know what a start menu is? What is unclear about launching an application? How does she manage to sit in front of her computer every day for 8 hours or more and not know how to use it? I poured myself some old number 7. Then I loaded up Reddit and wrote this story entitled Why I Drink in the Daytime. They wanted more emails, which they also wouldn't read. I was the tech lead on a project that included a bridge component that served as an active sync/gateway for data between two different systems. During normal operations, the bridge monitored the systems, and as certain data elements were updated, it would translate them into the corresponding objects in the other system. It was our solution to allow the customer to use their preferred systems that, otherwise, didn't talk to one another. There was a customer liaison who was ridiculously hard to work with. Arrogant, opinionated, and they always covered up their deficiencies by throwing other people under the bus. I'm sure most of us have dealt with this type before. They were never incorrect or wrong, it was always somebody else's fault. We'll call this person GT. So I'm working away, being productive, when I get a call from a manager, saying I'm needed on a conference call with GT right away. I grab my laptop and head down to the executive conference room, joining a call already in progress. They announce that I'm there and GT starts ripping into me. The bridge is down. What's going on? It's down for routine maintenance. It will be down for another hour and a half while we upgrade the software. Why wasn't I told about this? An email went out, as per our standard operating procedure, announcing this. Well, I didn't get it. Pulling up my email client on my laptop. Please refer to the email dated a month earlier, titled System Bridge will be offline for scheduled maintenance on today's date, which is addressed to you, the program manager and the QA lead. I get so many emails, how am I supposed to track all of them? It is marked urgent, the email system lets you set priorities. Well, that's not good enough. I want you to notify me when this is going to happen. In my sweetest, most innocent voice. So, you want me to send another email because you don't read the emails I already send? I don't see how that's going to make things better. Figure something out, they shouted, and I'm looking around the room on my end, and most of the managers are trying hard not to laugh. I went back to work, shaking my head. God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Drunk customer wants to play with electricity. Years ago, I was an associate engineer for a small company that manufactured video security systems. At the time, the company had in-house Tier 1 and Tier 2 technical support. But anything more than that got channeled to the engineering department. Also, as part of engineering duties, each engineer was required to log in as Tier 1 technical support for a few hours each week. It was very enlightening for an engineer to understand what a customer expected. I was logged into the system on Friday afternoon, just before the Memorial Day weekend. I got to log off at 5 p.m. sharp, unless I had someone on the line. I was not allowed to hang up on a customer. And, since I was an engineer, I was not allowed to transfer the call. I had to solve it. On this Friday afternoon, it was approaching 5 p.m. with no calls, and I was just about to log off of the system when I got a call. Sigh. I picked up and found that it was a direct call, not a transfer from Tier 1 or 2. Apparently they were low-staffed. People left early for the holiday weekend. The gentleman on the phone wanted to install a security camera on the parking lot light in front of his company. He wanted to know what wires to hook to the light pole power. And the first thing I could tell was that he was drunk. Not incoherent drunk, but somewhat slurring his words drunk. He said that his company just had a barbecue, and he had some beer and something else. He didn't volunteer a good explanation, other than it was a blended drink. Probably with rum. I don't recall exactly what was said. He was exceedingly cheerful throughout this far-ranging conversation, which included mentions of the recent party, types of mixed drink, his girlfriend, and that if I were ever in his city, he would buy me a beer. Or 6. He explained that he had a drill, a ladder, and a tool belt, and our camera, which with the casing and mount, weighed about 20 pounds. His plan was to lean a ladder against a light pole, climb the ladder to the top of the pole, drill a large hole in it, extract the wire and splice it to the power of the camera. He would also attach a camera mount to the pole and the camera to the mount. All while 30 feet off the ground. I didn't know his plan at first. At first, he just asked me what wires connected to what. I told him the color of the power wires on the camera. It was a 120-volt system. We also had 48-volt systems. But this system could plug directly into the 120 VAC provided by the light pole if that power was made available. After half an hour of me explaining the camera wiring, the customer then asked what was the best way to cut into a light pole. I told him the electrician he hired would take care of that. The customer confirmed he wasn't an electrician. But, I'm good with stuff. It sounded like stuff when he said it. He was sitting in the reception area of his company with all of his things. So I spent the next hour repeating to this customer that working on top of a leaning ladder, while cutting into a live light pole, was a dangerous thing for a drunk person, someone who had a few to be doing. You would think that after an hour and a half this customer would be getting less drunk. But he made sure that wouldn't happen. He had a glass of something. He said it had rum in it. He drank occasionally. Years later I'd see Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean and say, "Hey, there he is." They sounded similar. Finally, after 2 hours the customer got bored with me and said he had to go. But he didn't hang up. He just put the phone down and walked away. I heard a door open and shut, and then nothing. After another 5 minutes I decided it was time to start my own weekend. I finished my log with, "Customer dropped phone," then left. Assuming he hung up. I started my 3-day weekend a little late. Speaking of UPCs and modern technology. Our point-of-sale system has been around for many, many years. Originally, it was a Unix-based server with custom-branded WISE-50 terminals, with custom pinouts on the cables, because why not, which required a permanent connection to work and was text/keyboard only. For offline transactions, they developed a DOS-based terminal emulator, basically, a customized telnet client, also long ago. In the days of Windows 98, they began working on a Windows version of their clients, with many new features and capabilities, but with a somewhat more sophisticated telnet client for certain administrative screens and Luddites like me. Overall, it worked remarkably well, especially since it was originally written in VB6. They have since rewritten most of it in better languages. However, in some places, their lack of experience with Windows shows, even today. In getting ready to load a large pile of new SKUs to the server in a store we recently bought, but haven't merged onto our main server yet, I needed to pull a list of UPCs. This is routine, I do it all the time. But when I loaded that list into Excel to do some sorting and filtering, I noticed there was an extra column. Very odd. Upon further investigation, I discovered that one of our very talented buyers had managed to load a UPC with a tab character, ASCII code 09, as part of the UPC. I'm still not 100% sure how, since if you hit the tab key on the keyboard, the cursor advances to the next field, as it should. But I think it involved copying and pasting from Excel, since when you do that, Excel separates columns with tabs. Mind you, the add UPC function should have either rejected the invalid character, or stripped it off before doing the database insert. That was sloppy. But then it gets stupid. When you display this UPC, it replaces the tab with a 0. So 12345 becomes 012345. And that means you can't delete it because it's trying to delete what it displayed, not what was returned from the database. Fortunately, the old Telnet client is still there, still functional, if a bit dated now, because it is still necessary for certain administrative tasks. And it displays the bogus UPC correctly. The entire UPC is shifted to the right the width of a tab, and will delete it with no problem. Interestingly, it is impossible to enter a tab there, since when you paste the copied text in, it advances to the next field before pasting the rest. So let's hear it for old school curmudgeons who remember the good old days. A bug report has been filed. It will be at least a year before we see a fix. So now I have to explain this to our buyers, so they can avoid doing it in the future. They are not especially gifted with computer stuff.